Jumping right to the point. Perception is half the battle won. What am I talking about? Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode of the Save Money and More with Jan channel. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. If I want to talk to you today about living below our means, and I want to give you the key to living below our means. You know what the beauty part of living below our means means? It means that I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, that 90% of the time you will not have financial problems. That is my personal belief. It has worked for me. See, here's the thing, I also look at it a lot differently than some people. Some people view living below their means as a drudge. I can't do this. I can't do that. Wrong, wrong, wrong thinking. Erase it, wash it away, put bleach on it, throw it out the window, whatever it is. Erase that thought off your mind. Imagine your mind as if a blackboard, and you're telling yourself, I can't do this in chalk. I cannot live below my means. This is such a sacrifice. This is such a drudge. Just imagine the person writing that on the blackboard. Well, guess what? Good news for you. There's an eraser, an imaginary eraser, and you could pick it up and wipe and get away and erase everything that was just written on that negative information blackboard. Living below our means is something to look forward to. Isn't it nice to look forward to living a debt free life? Yeah, yeah, the person would shake their head up and down saying, yeah, yeah, yeah. Isn't it nice to know that all of your bills are paid? Yeah, yeah, again, people shaking their head, yeah. Isn't it nice to know that you also have leftover money to put away? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you could build up the foundation. Build up the foundation for having at the very least a couple of months of reserve money, putting that away to the emergency fund. Yes, you do hear the bird clock. And that's totally okay. But anyway, there are more pluses than minuses. But for the few far and in between person that might say, "Oh, I can't stand living like that," or they're looking at it as a deprivation, and to me, that is the wrong perception. Perception is half the battle won, as I said, on the opening of this audio. What do you think about that? How do you feel about that? Like some people look at that glass of water, half full or half empty, right? Okay. Now, the other thing is, let's emphasize for a minute. I briefly touched upon it the other day, but let's talk about not your forever place. Every few months or so, I will remind the viewer, the listener, about, let's say that you're in a place where mainly you just live for your needs, and hardly ever get a want, and that could be admittedly at times feel a little frustrating. But remember, when you're in a situation like that, don't say, I can't afford it. Maybe you might say, I can't get this thing right now, the want. Okay. I love the idea of saying right now. Maybe you cannot do this thing right now. That doesn't mean 6 months down the road you can't get it. That doesn't mean even 1 month down the road can't get it. Maybe you can. Maybe you can. You see, we forget something, and I don't understand why we forget it. Okay. We are the CEOs not only of our kitchens, yeah, yeah, yeah. We are the CEOs of our purse strings, of our pocketbooks, of our wallets. We make the financial decisions. We do, we do, we do. It's up to us. So if we choose the being wasteful route, I know a lot of people that have lots and lots of decent income. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yet and still problems. Yet and still a credit card debt up to the wazoo. Honestly, which I'm like, what? And then I know people who have meager incomes, smaller wages, still manage paying all their bills and still manage to squeeze a nickel or two and put it in savings. No debt, debt free. DEBT, debt free. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So not all low income people are in debt. Keep that in mind. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And for that peace of mind, I'm just saying, I'm just saying. But the key to living below our means is to treat it as a positive experience. not a negative experience. Example, and this is on the really, really minutia side. You're invited to a party, you really want to go. You're concerned about, your attire. It's an evening party. I could strongly suggest wearing like a solid black color with some sort of, even if it's a piece of costume jewelry that looks really, really cute, something you have, keep a couple of those, solid black outfits available for an evening event. People will not even notice that, oh, maybe you might have worn that 2 years ago. You think they really care? I don't think so. I think people today have a lot more on their mind than to worrying going back about 700 days over or more, right? Hey, so and so wore that black outfit 2 years ago at such and such party. I highly doubt that would be anyone's concern with. It's just doubtful in my mind. So just imagine, okay, you made a willful decision, for example, to not spend a couple of $100 on another evening outfit, and instead you decided to put that money somewhere else where it is much more needed. I'm saying now, maybe down the pike, a few months from now, maybe you'll be in a position where you could get that wanted outfit for a brand new one for the future. Get it, of course, on sale. And you might surprise yourself and find it either at a flea market or at a garage sale, or you know where I'm going with this, or the thrift store sometimes. Although, let me digress a second here. Although, since everybody all of a sudden is doing a thrift store type of thing, it seems like the prices are going up. But then again, thrift store owners have their expenses too, managing and running and paying their rent at their location. So it's a complicated thing. But do what you can. Do what you can to save money. I don't think it's a huge deprivation to give up something like that, to just swap out, just wear a nice, sweet outfit and just maybe switch around and get some inexpensive accessory. And don't forget also the power of borrowing. You might have a friend or a neighbor that can lend you that, chunky costume jewelry necklace or that dazzling shirt for an evening. And then you could do something back in return. Maybe, make them a little meal, or you see where I'm going with this. Don't let being a good neighbor or bartering go out the window. There's a reason why all of these activities lasted, and lasted. Why? Because they work. So just think, you still got to go to that party, right? It didn't cost you a fortune. Amazing. You had a wonderful time. And that 2.5 hours went away really, really fast. So imagine the person that was on the fence and spent a ton of money on an outfit. The 2.5 hours goes by. The friends didn't really even notice the outfit half the time. And it's like, okay, so yeah, you see where I am absolutely going with that. So the key to living below our means is the way to look at things. How creative are we? Little cough there. How do we do it? Anyway, allergy time. Take care.